Good morning again. Adjusting the camera. Today is February 4th, Sunday, right after Shabbat. We continue our daily 10 minutes, maybe even try to 5 minutes daily warm-up exercise with the morning Tanya. We have finished with the introduction. That's again Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, commentaries by Rabbi Chaim Miller in Hebrew and English. We talked about the different gradations of the person's character, if you will, the full tzaddik, complete tzaddik, the incomplete tzaddik, almost tzaddik, Ben Yoni in between, then Rasha, not a good person, and a very bad Rasha, 5. We talked about last time, yesterday, day before yesterday, that there's many ways to look in this gradation. One is, like in Ben Yoni, specifically, in betweener, is a person who is it mostly kosher and sometimes it's non-kosher? No, that's not what it is. Is it also the way that God weighs the soul when it makes its final way up to heaven? If it's mostly did good things, 60% good, 40% bad, goes to heaven, otherwise other options. That's God's way to do it. That we leave it up to God. For Tanya is more concerned with internal definitions, understanding of the human emotions, humans' inner world, if you will. And in other words, if the person was be able to completely change, there's two souls, Tanya is saying, combined in a person, and there's two souls. One is good and one is not good. Maybe not good, maybe not good, not the right way to characterize it. Perhaps the better say is one is divine soul that is attached to altruistic, higher, godly ways, higher world. And then the animalistic or animal soul. Animal soul is not necessarily bad, but it's almost self-contained. It wants to do what's good for the body, what's good for instant gratification. That includes also good portions of that, like maybe that's a portion of the doctor that makes operation that they had to take a scalpel and cut, even though it's difficult to do in order to help the person. So, on the same time, that body, that poor soul, also acts on the negative impulses, looking in the forbidden sights, and that's animalistic. What's good for me? Well, it feels good, that's what I have to do. On a positive, on a negative side, on both actually. So it has you can't completely destroy it because we need certain characteristics of the animalistic soul to survive in this world. But if it's only left on its own, it becomes a vicious animal that just walks over anything in order to get what the person's body needs. So you have to eat. I'll take a piece of meat from somebody else and let him starve because I needed more. That's basically animalistic soul, if you will. So then we're going now to next chapter. We're now we're at chapter 2, and the chapter 2 explains now how the Tanya sees the soul, goes to Kabbalistic review of that there's a body, and inside the body there is this klipa, the shell. Like imagine an orange. The klipa, the peels of the orange, that's the animalistic soul. Inside of that there is an orange, and that is the godly soul, the good soul, so to speak, or elevated soul. You can't easily get to it. You have to go through the shell. So the complete tzaddik was able to take that animalistic soul and tame it, to turn it only to the good. So if the surgeon needs to make an operation, he needs to have strength to do it, and that animalistic soul is a driving mechanism for him to act. So that's tough, but it's for the good purpose. So the complete tzaddik could be, let's say, a very good surgeon. He makes operations, cuts people every day, but for the good reason. The incomplete tzaddik, he did not turn the animalistic soul he didn't turn this tiger or the wolf into the lamb. it turned it tamed it. It's almost in a cage. It's a caged animal. It's there, but it's not active because it's incomplete tzaddik was able to isolate it. And then in between her is the person whose soul sort of like roams around, but he is not acting on it, although he is aware of these impulses all the time. He is drawn to the things that perhaps shouldn't be done, but he was able to control that. Okay, so it's a fine line between incomplete tzaddik and in between. But in between, as Tanya puts it, basically good on the outside, but somewhat rotten on the inside. It's amazing, even Rava, the great Rava, said that he considers himself in betweener, to big surprise of Abaye. Abaye says, Rebbe, if you're in betweener, if you know the complete tzaddik, who is? Don't let anybody live. It's in Brachot. Brachot, page 61, I think, 61b. I think. I don't have it open right in front of me. And then, of course, bad Rasha is the person who uses his bad soul for the bad reasons, but not all the time. Not all the time, and maybe not to the full extent. Maybe he will steal, but not murder. Maybe he will cheat, but regret. Like that. Complete Russia, it's Hitler. Complete Russia, very bad. Not too many people in the world to that level. Those are extremes. Those 5 things. So this is what we discussed so far. So we're coming now. And then section 2 of the chapter 2, discussion is, are the souls equal? In other words, a great tzaddik and someone, a regular guy or a gal on the street, do they have the same soul? Did the soul come to the world the same way and kind of evolved in different ways? Or were they naturally, the soul of a tzaddik was implanted, was God at birth? Is it deterministic way to a soul to become better or not so good, or some effect by the environment acquired over time? So the Tanya goes through analysis, and then tomorrow we will look, it talks about the leader soul and regular person soul, and then and that soul, that orange peel and the fruit inside of it contains essentially kind of in the blood. The blood, our blood, the soul is in the blood. That combination, the duality, and that's very, Tanya is very careful to point out, we're not saying, because when you think about it, in all religion, there's always struggle, good versus bad. In Hinduism, in I don't know, many religions, good against bad. But in many religions, it's separate entities. They struggle, but they are separate. The good, the light versus darkness. In Judaism, Hashem Echad, God is one. So when we talk about 2 souls, it doesn't mean that there is one entity controls one and another controls the other one. It has all the purpose and the free will given to humanity, given to the person, is done purposely to complete the creation. So we're completing creation by taking this orange and taking a peel off and accessing the fruit and using peel for the good reason. Maybe analogy would be, I just came up with this, you take an orange peel, you can peel it, you can still cut it and cook it and make a very nice like marmalade for the tea. You still turn it to something good. So it's not necessarily, and maybe that orange peel can be used to heal some sicknesses. Maybe you have a flu or cold, then the peel can be turned into the nice nectar, nice compote that heals the person. So you can turn it to the good. And figuratively speaking, that duality, I have to be careful using the word duality. In Judaism we have one, we don't have duality. It's not us and God. God is us, we're all together. So the concept is, we're evolving, developing this concept as we talk, lesson after lesson. So that's all for today, like 5-7 minutes. We're trying to get a little bit less time. And again, thanks for all that came today and listening to our presentation. Hope you enjoy it. We'll also make a video and send it out to people to comment, maybe to come to our class. And now it's a little bit after 6, like 10 minutes after 6. I have to go to the Shakrit, to our morning prayers. So I see you tomorrow again at 5:45 in Rinat Yerushalem. Have a great day. Let me know what you think. Get us feedback.